I'm Ronna Richmond. Today I'd like to talk to you about two terms related to copyright law. The first one is transformativeness, and the second one is appropriation. Transformativeness is the first of the four factors of fair use in the fair use doctrine within the Copyright Act of 1976. You can see my last video of AI and copyright if you're interested. Transformative use is defined as the use of a copyrighted work that changes something about it to make it look like or mean something different. It changes it expressively and in many cases visually as well. Types of transformative uses of an artwork are parody, criticism and commentary, and educational. Appropriation is the use of pre-existing objects or images with little or no transformation or changes, no transformativeness, it's a clumsy word, applied to them. These two terms are related as they apply to copyright law. I'm going to show you an example of a transformative artwork and an example of appropriation in an artwork to give you a better idea of what they actually mean. Here is a selfie that I took, and I used it in my portrait painting video as my example. So if you saw that video, it's the same. It's actually a derivative of the picture I used in that video. Let's pretend that this is not me, but rather an artwork, a photo, in photo form, a photo artwork that I found online and downloaded from someone else's website. Let's pretend that. So this is someone else's artwork. I'm now going to place a party hat on the head of this person in the picture I downloaded. I have just transformed this photo created by someone else, copyrighted, which I downloaded and changed by putting a party hat onto. I have transformed this artwork visually, and some people would say also conceptually or expressively, because I could say, I want this to mean something else, and the reason how I did that was by putting a party hat on this person's head. The current state of technology makes taking and subsequently altering virtually any artwork found online, whether photo, video, or document, and changing it with practically no effort at all, as I've demonstrated here. I've just shown you an example of what many artists, some of them very well known, do to other artists' works. And many make lots of money doing it, and not surprisingly, they are dragged into court as a result of doing this. Now, I'm going to remove the party hat from my downloaded copyrighted photo. Here is a pictorial arrangement of flowers I made using Gemini. See my video Gen AI for more of that. And here I placed the downloaded photo onto, or in some cases, you could say into, my photo of the flowers. Notice that I've done nothing at all to change anything about the copyrighted photo before placing it into my photo of flowers. This so-called new artwork is an example, or can be considered an example of appropriation in art, and has been considered as transformative, even though nothing's changed about the photo that I downloaded from somebody else's website. Why has this been considered transformative? Because according to the definition of appropriation, one does not have to change anything about an existing image itself in order for it to be considered transformed. One explanation an artist gave for appropriating someone else's photos was that in order for his art to be relevant to life, he said he needed to obtain images from actual experience. My question is, and this is not aimed at any one artist, because many, many artists are doing this. My question is, if these pictures are banal enough where you could create them yourself for your social commentary pieces, why don't you just create them yourself? Why don't you just imitate what the other artist has done rather than taking their work and using it? If this new work was taken to court for a copyright infringement claim, some courts would say this was a copyright infringement because nothing was done to the photo that was taken, in this case my self-portrait, to change the meaning of it or the purpose of it. In one court, the photograph that was taken and used was transformed with the addition of the floral background. So the transformative use is very broad in its interpretation. And I think that that's a problem, especially in today's environment with everything being digital as media. Now I'm going to take the photo and put it on a background of the same floral arrangement, only this time I'm going to make it black and white. So in the other arrangement, the other picture, the court may say, this is just use of a photo that belongs to somebody else, and it didn't change anything about what was said about that photo. The expression or the intention of that photo didn't change enough to make it new. But now, let's say I take the same photo, and this time I make it black and white, and they look at it, they may think in their interpretation of this artwork now that it transformed that photo that I took into something new because the meaning changed or the expression changed because of the black and white photo behind it of these flowers, which could be interpreted in a completely different way. So if this person uses this photograph of me and puts it in a picture that a court thinks changed the purpose of the original picture, then it is now considered transformed and it's a new artwork, even though nothing about that portrait picture changed. And I think that's wrong. In my research, fair use is frequently cited as the legal justification for the use of copyrighted works. The term transformative, in my opinion, is currently too loosely interpreted by artists as well as the courts, and should be more specific in its definition in our current state of technology. Copyright infringement cases are especially numerous these days, and I think it is in part due to the almost effortless way by which digital media can be copied, altered, and used without permission from the artist. I think the best way artists can go about making art is to create it themselves, rather than taking content from other artists for their own use, regardless of the message they are striving to convey in the process. I'm Ronna Richmond. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.